we are at the National Snow Show, and we're speaking to Daryl from Urban Shredderz. So first of all, welcome. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out on our stand.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
So what is Urban Shredderz? And tell us a bit about it and a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so basically Urban Shredderz, we're a community that encourages people from diverse communities to also get involved in snow sports. Yeah. So often we find that people don't have a clear entry point to snow sports. So as a community, we host events, allow people to come to our events, learn to snowboard and ski, and then eventually they get to get out on the mountains and get to experience the full effect of snow sports.
That's cool. And you're a snowboarder,
yes.
which is fine. I mean, I don't speak snowboarders.
Yeah.
but and you say you're helping people get involved. Do you do them because you're based in London? Is that right?
Yeah.
And so do people go to like some of the snow domes, or like how do they walk somebody through the process?
Yeah, so basically in most cases they connect with us via social media or via our website, and then we have links where they can connect to our newsletter, and then basically when we're hosting events, we'll usually host it at a snow dome, often Hemel or Milton Keynes.
Yep.
And then we arrange basically how they have to sign up. So they sign up with us, buy tickets, and then we sort it out with the venues, and then we host the event. There's time for them to socialize at our events as well. Yeah. Very important. So when they're at the event, they also get to meet people before they actually take their lessons. So before that, it's all about engagement, talking to each other. Some people might have tried it before, some might not have. So it's just having people mingle, and then they get to have their lessons, and everything's taken care of for them.
So do you get a mixture of abilities then? Do you find? I mean, I would imagine that you probably maybe the mainstay is never evers, but then you get some returning customers or people like, oh yeah, last year we did this trip. Do you get like this whole group of people?
Yeah. So that's really what it is, right? So if you look at our community, it's a bunch of people from different social groups, you could say. So often the case is people have their own social groups, 10 or more people probably, but only one or a couple want to do something. Often they feel isolated, and then they don't have someone that they can do something with. So when it comes to snow sports, if your social group don't want to do it, by all means come along to one of our events, and then you build up your own social group, but in snow sports. So even at our events where we do have mixed abilities, it allows those that are slightly more experienced to also coach those that are not, let people share their stories and understand. You might be scared or you might feel a certain way. Don't worry. I've been through this. I've done XYZ, so you'll be fine.
And so obviously you've been doing this now for a couple of years.
Yes.
So how did things? Obviously, it's really difficult having an on-snow community with lockdown and all that sort of stuff. But you still kept the community together, I guess. I mean, how did you do that?
Social media allows us to keep the community together. Essentially, we've been quiet recently just because lockdown's gone on a lot longer than we expected, so it's just keeping people engaged at the right points, right? So we've kept our social media up to date quite a lot over lockdown. Like I said, we've been quiet only recently, and it's just keeping people informed of things that are going on, because as much as we also put on events on our website, we write articles and stuff like that and have blog posts, so we also inform people on how to get involved, things to look out for, and also shine a light on certain people within the community or the wider snow sports community. So
is there not say something you focus on, but have you had something that you've really latched onto that's been something you're really excited about for the upcoming season?
At this moment in time, it's more just re-engaging people. Because obviously you can imagine over lockdown, people found new interests. And things that they're now committed to. So it's just re-engaging, understanding where everyone is currently now in their life, and just getting people back into wanting to hit the slopes again.
And are you? Do you have because you not only do your so let's say London or UK based events, but you I guess fingers crossed, everything's crossed. Hopefully have an on snow event in France later on this year. Is that right?
So next year we're looking at. That's fair.
That's what I think in ski season.
This season definitely. We will be having we'll be doing a trip to France. So those that were engaged from before, so we've booked our trip twice before. Obviously due to lockdown it's been cancelled. We were going to have a group of double figures. It's dwindled a little bit, but we've still got people that are engaged, so we'll go on holiday sometime this season, and then from that, hopefully if we haven't got everyone back on board, they'll see those that were on board and then hopefully they can come out next season. So.
And when you go away on your trips, is there a theme to the trip, or is it kind of like you have a social thing every night, or is it all? Walk us through a trip.
So realistically, when it comes to the trip, the focus is just hitting the slopes.
Oh, is it okay?
There's no. It's obviously the whole social aspect as well. So it's us hitting the slopes together and just enjoying the moment. So it's like a group activity, but obviously people have their own experiences while on it. So that's really what it is. It's people doing what's within their comfort zone as well. So for me, I'll often give up a bit of my time instead of like racing down the mountain. I'll be like, no, I'll take my time to come with you, so you can feel comfortable on the slope, stuff like that. Obviously, if you're on a lesson, you're on a lesson.
Yeah.
But we'll always connect afterwards. So
And meet up for a beer someplace afterwards.
Yeah.
So in your, do you remember your first snowboard trip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was a festival. So someone had shown me a festival that they were going to, and it was going to be in like a week's time. And I was like, I can't make that. But I love music. It was house music, so I was perfectly fine. Then they showed me the pictures, and I just saw the mountains. I didn't see anything to do with the festival, but the mountains. And I was just like, I have to experience that. So
I'm curious, what made you? Because everybody's seen pictures of the mountains.
Yeah.
What really clicked with you to turn around and said, I wanted to do that? It's like, I'm curious about that.
And this is something I've probably never touched on, but it was seeing someone that I knew out there that hadn't done it before. I knew it was possible.
Okay.
So it was just like, I didn't know at this time that there were festivals. I had absolutely no idea there were winter festivals. So I've traveled around the world connecting with music. And house music quite often. So to hear that there's going to be house music in the mountains and it's affordable, and I know someone that's just gone there, I can definitely go. And they had never skied or snowboarded before, so I was just like, yeah, next year 100%, that view, I want to be looking at it through my camera phone and taking pictures. So yeah.
So how do you describe it to somebody? How do you describe that experience to somebody who, who's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm kind of interested to go, obviously I can see the magic in your eyes. You see the mountains, I can see it actually. But it's like, how do you then turn around and share that to somebody else and try to describe who perhaps it's the furthest thing from their mind to head to the mountains? How do you communicate that to somebody else?
So, one, it's all about experiences, and I think that's what life is about. It's about having different experiences. Some you might enjoy, some you might not. But my thing is, when communicating with people from, like, say, my local area, it's a case of, if you go to an ice skating rink, from my experience growing up, my ice skating rink was quite diverse. Had people from all communities doing whatever they needed to do on the ice. It was perfectly fine. Music, dancing, some showboating, some falling over. It is what it is. But you won't get the same when it comes to snowboarding and skiing. So I would often say, what's harder to fall on, ice or snow?
No, it's probably going to be ice, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if you are prepared to experience that, you get all of that loveliness of adrenaline.
Coldness.
Yeah. But then you also get this beautiful view.
Yeah.
Now look at this picture that I've taken.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And also, you don't have to necessarily participate in actually skiing or snowboarding.
Yeah.
There's après-ski. So you can socialize, enjoy that side of things, and then get all the views that you want as well. So yeah.
If you, because obviously this is a kind of let's say part-time business for you to be running. You obviously have a 9 to 5. If you could, would you move to the mountains?
Move to the mountains, I would spend a period of time, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm 100% a city boy, but I like to get away.
Nice.
I love to get away, and I've seen the mountains, obviously when covered in snow and then off-season, both to me look absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Like, I think even if you're someone that loves a beach holiday, you see a mountain off-season, like, it looks absolutely incredible. Like, summer holidays, get me out to that same mountain I was just on my snowboard, so yeah.
So have you, obviously you've done summer holidays. Now that you've been bitten by the winter bug, or by the mountain bug, that's one hell of a bug, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But how is that balanced out in terms of your summer holidays versus your winter holidays? If you like a beach guy versus winter, do you like like talk us through that.
So there has been no split.
Yeah.
And so basically the bug has hooked me that I prioritize the winter holiday over a summer holiday. So if I go back to my first experience, because it had that element of partying and being able to experience an actual sport and activity, it was just like I get to do both. So for me it was nice. And yeah, like there's something about being on the mountains that when you go back to how you convey this and speak to someone, there's something about being on the mountains that you can't get anywhere else. And I usually relate it to people cycling. So I don't know, like if people have ever cycled with a bunch of friends together during the summertime, just a bit carefree, and you're all going down the road and you got the breeze in your face, stuff like that. Transfer that to the mountains, it's a similar feeling, but you also feel at peace. And then it's that you can't convey. It's like they have to experience it, but I think they kind of get the message when I share that.
I heard somebody say once, you either get it or you don't. It's very difficult to. I think I wouldn't say you're an outdoors person or not. But it's like you're either moved by the mountains or you're not. I mean, people get it. People go, that looks pretty. Beach holiday, please.
And that's usually the case that I find when talking to people about it. It's like it's easy to sell a beach holiday, in my opinion. But for me, it's also selling that bit of adventure. Because me, even when I go on a beach holiday, I don't just want to be sat on the beach. I want to travel, see different things. So,
and skiing and snowboarding is one of those things where I think, you know, it is, there's a sense of adventure because you have that chance, don't you, when you can kind of take a look at the piste map or on the mountain on the day, I want to go there. Let's go head over there. We're going to go down to this valley here. I don't know where we're going. Have to get a taxi to get back around. Anyway, But no, I think that's quite cool. So obviously you have a trip planned for the springtime, and you have a community, but you also do some clothing and apparel and stuff like that as well.
So on the side, just some branded stuff for anyone that wants to rock and represent Urban Shredderz. We also sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats. I'm in 2 at the moment. And we're expanding that over time. But for me, the focus is always participation. Once you get people involved, then everything goes to secondary. So
And I know because we've chatted beforehand, because you're involved a lot in the community, doing lots of other things. Generally speaking, then, what does community mean to you?
That's a good question, and I've never thought about it in a holistic sense like that. But the community is having a reliable and dependable network of people that can inspire, motivate, be a shoulder to cry on, and it's needed for the next generation. There's a lot of learning that can be given from a community. So for me, it's always important to make sure you have that aspect there so you don't feel alone. I think lockdown's definitely shown us as well, without the sense of community, how alone people feel. Keeping that alive for me is really important.
That's cool. So if people want to find more about you, find out more about Urban Shredderz, the trips or anything like that, how do they find out?
Social media is the best place. So it's Urban Shredderz or at Urban Shredderz. Primarily on Instagram. Instagram is usually the best place and where we're most active. We also have a website, so that's www.urbanshredders.co. So Shredders with a Z. That's the best place to connect. Sign up to our newsletter, and we send out newsletters from time to time. So
brilliant. Well, it's been awesome to hang out with you and chat.
Yes.
And glad we connected at the show. And hopefully the rest of the show for you is quite good.
It's been amazing so far. So
it's been good. And good vibe today as well. Long may it last, and fingers crossed we'll get it on the slopes later on.
Yes. I need a season. I need a season.
I was looking at the slope over there, and I thought, don't know that I can justify that or not. Anyway, that's cool. Well, thank you much for your time, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Thank you for having me.